So guys, before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you for Radiolink for sending me these ESCs right here. And hey Radiolink, if you're watching, I've been running these FlySky radios. This is a FlySky GT5 right here, and all of these things have the same problem. The on-off switch is like, it'll just cut out mid-run like that with my GT5s. See that? I can't even turn it on hardly right now. So if you guys have a solution for that, that's a Radiolink radio, let me know. We could make a video about that too. Hey guys, welcome back for another video. Today's video is going to be sponsored in part by Radiolink because they were cool enough to send me two of their new updated CL9030 brushed speed controls. And I have one of the first generations. Actually I have two of them in two different crawlers, and I really like them, and this is the updated version. So what we're going to be doing is swapping out the FMS Gemini. This is the factory ESC right here. I think they're Hobbywing 1040s if I remember right. They're just not branded as that, but I'm pretty sure they're a Hobbywing 1040. And we're going to be swapping in the Radiolink 9030. One of the things I really like about this ESC is it's so simple. The setup right here is just these jumper pins, and they give you 4 of these pins in the package, and depending on what you want to do, you know, there's LiPo or nickel metal is a jumper, and then there's various other settings with these jumpers. There's no crazy buttons or Wi-Fi or Bluetooth to mess with. The settings are just really straightforward, and I really like that. Another thing I really like is every ESC, in my opinion, should come with an XT60 like Radiolink did here. Don't force me to have to make goofy adapters with Dean's plugs and things like that. A large amount of people are running XT60s, and that's all I run on anything is XT60 or XT30 connectors. So I really like to see that that's already on there. I don't have to mess with soldering on something or cutting something off or anything like that. So the install is going to be really simple. We're just going to pull out this one and a double-sided tape the Radiolink in there, plug it into the channel 1 on the receiver back here, and plug it into the motor, and we'll be good to go. So I'm not going to film the actual swapping because that's really basic. If you guys need help with that, let me know and I can help you out. But we're going to first, before we swap in this Radiolink ESC, we're going to take this with the factory ESC out on the trail. Then we're going to swap in the Radiolink, and we're going to see what kind of performance differences we get. I expect this one's going to be a lot better. But anyway, let's take this out on the trail as is in stock form with that ESC, and we'll take it for a run. And then we'll come back on the bench, swap this thing in, and go out for another run and compare the two runs. So one of the reasons I picked the GMC Gemini is I haven't drove it in a while. So I wanted to get a fresh impression of the factory ESC versus the Radiolink. So being used to driving like Hobbywing 1080s and stuff, this one is definitely a little more jerky. There's less low-end control. That's about as slow as I can modulate it, trying to crawl up over this stuff. I mean, it's not bad, you can definitely use it. Yeah, definitely off the low end is kind of jerky. Trying my best to modulate it right there to where it's smooth. I'm sure you guys can see how it's kind of jumping there. So I don't have a ton of confidence not flipping this thing over right now because of the low end jerkiness of the ESC on these rocks. This is a pretty technical spot. Yep, there we go. I don't like flipping this thing because stuff gets broken. Like the roll bar, I'm gonna have to glue that again. I had that super glued, but came undone again. If I had better control on the low end, I could come through here a lot more confidently. That was a big jerk right there. Tell you one thing, the brakes on this Hobby Wing ESC are like full lockup as soon as you let off the throttle. That could be good and bad. Whoa, I was hung up on something. Yeah, so this ESC is fine. I mean, you wouldn't have to rush out and get a new one. But we're going to go swap this thing to the Radiolink 9030, come back out, do the same lines, and see what we get for a comparison. So one thing I'll say, pulling out this 1040 ESC, is this thing is surprisingly warm. I mean, I was just running on 3S on the trail like you guys seen, but yeah, it's warmer than your average crawler servo. I mean, it's warmer than your average crawler ESC would be after a few minutes of running. Not really sure why that is, kind of weird, just figured I'd mention it. So here we go to our... This is what I was talking about earlier with the jumpers for the settings, and this shows us what we need. So for jumper cap number 1, I want climbing mode, which is just going to be forward and reverse. So jumper cap number 1 needs to be inserted according to this chart. You guys can pause this if you want to check it, but so I'm going to go ahead and get out the jumper caps that came with it right here in this bag. And this is how you do the settings on the ESC, which, like I said, I'm a fan because you don't have any of the crazy Bluetooth nonsense of the ISDT ESCs, and half the time it don't work, and half the time they don't link up. You can't change settings, garbage like that. So insert for climbing mode on jumper cap 1. So I'm going to come over to jumper cap 1 right here and just push this jumper into slot 1. So now I will have forward reverse, which is what I want on crawlers. I don't need a brake. I don't want a brake on a crawler. And then for battery type, we're going to be running lithium for the time being. So we want jumper cap 3 inserted. So we're going to come over here, jumper cap 3, and push that one into slot 3. Now we have crawler mode and lithium mode set up. If you want to run a nickel metal battery, you just pull that jumper back out. Now for BEC output, we're going to want max, right? I'm going to want to run 7.5 volts to the servo. See how that holds up. So we're going to insert jumper cap 4. Right like that. And that'll give us more power on our steering servo, and we'll see if that servo holds up to that. You always want more power on your steering, right? So another really cool option about this BEC output on here, being either 5.5 volts or 7.5 volts, 5.5 is pretty much standard, but watch this. When I put this jumper in to give it 7.5 volts output, not only does my servo get more powerful, watch the headlights. Hopefully you guys can see that on camera. The headlights just got brighter by about 50%, it looked like. So that's another cool bonus. If you're running lights on your rig, they're going to be brighter than they would at a factory 5.5 volts. Okay guys, now that we got it all set up, we're going to calibrate it. I'm going to turn on the transmitter, hold full throttle, and then turn on the ESC and wait for 2 beeps. Okay, I got the 2 beeps, going to go full reverse. 2 more beeps, neutral. And we should be calibrated. And there it goes. Make sure you do this with no throttle trim on the transmitter as well. Alright guys, so we're going to start taking some of the same lines with the new ESC, the Radiolink, and see how it compares to the hobby wing that was in it. The motor's a lot quieter, I can say that. I definitely have better low speed control. Yeah, I can modulate it so much better. Yeah, the slow crawl is way better. You can definitely notice that I have the servo power turned up too. Yeah, look at that. It's modulating a lot better, guys. I got probably half again better low throttle control than I had. That alone that's what you want when you're crawling for sure. Way smoother and way quieter than before, no doubt. This is a technical spot. Look at that. Got like the perfect amount of drag brake to get down that without flipping. And I got the bumper hung up on a big rock though. Way better on that section. Awesome. Check out the drag brake, guys. This is how I like to have my rig set up, to where it's not full on lockup, but it actually drags a little bit. That's zero throttle at probably a 40 degree angle, and it's just perfect amount of drag brake. Just trying to barely nose over here because this is kind of steep and off camber. Got it. Try out this section. Doesn't look like it in camera, but this is a pretty steep, short little climb right here. I mean, I can just do whatever I want with the throttle control. That's nice. Let's go through the remaining section right here. This being a leaf spring rig is not the easiest to drive through things like this either. So overall, guys, my thoughts, as you just seen in the test, this thing is for sure an upgrade over the Hobby Wing 1040 ESC that comes in a lot of stock rigs, as well as I would imagine it's going to be a big upgrade over most stock ESCs. the low speed control feels better than a stock axial ESC or any stock ESC I've run for that matter. The low speed control is going to be really important if you're doing serious crawling. So this is going to be a good one to look at, guys. I'll put a link in the description below. And Radiolink was good enough to send me 2 of these. So we got this one that we just ran and installed, and we're going to we'll get one of these other rigs over here to put this one in. I'm thinking maybe the Tamiya CC02 right there is a possibility. I don't know. Yeah, we'll find one to put it in and give this one a test also in a different vehicle. And maybe we'll even run some 4S on the next one, since this thing can take 4S. And I'll show you what that's like. I've done that on the first generation, but we'll run some 4S on this and get a video of it in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. Thank you, Radiolink, for sending me these. That's really cool of you guys. And I'll see you on the next video, guys.
I'm taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up.